show. And listen for unfamiliar vocabulary here. Come up with 5 comprehension questions for a classmate, and then 3 discussion questions that we'll use to have class discussions. So this whole front page should be filled out, okay? And what I want you to do today to prepare for our discussion on Wednesday is to first decide who is going to be the discussion leader for your group. So what's going to happen on Wednesday is we're going to go to the lab, and you are going to swap papers with someone, and you're going to re-listen to the audio, okay, and answer the questions from your partner. And then once that's done, they'll check and see if you got the right answers. In terms of the class discussion, each group, okay, should have 9 questions, because each person should have 3, and there are 3 people in a group. What you're going to do is choose a group leader, okay? That group leader is going to be in charge of facilitating your group's portion of the discussion on Wednesday, and is going to be the one that poses the questions for the group. But 9 questions per group times 3, that's way too many questions for, half of a class. So what I want you guys to do is look at everybody's discussion questions right now and decide what 3 total will be the ones that you think will make the best discussion questions for the group. Okay? So I have 3, and then my other 2 group members also have 3. Let's look at them all and decide which ones are the best for group discussion and why. And then the group leader is going to note those down, okay, for our Wednesday discussion. So we're just kind of prepping everything today, and then on Wednesday we'll answer each other's comprehension questions in the lab, and then do the group discussion in class, and there'll be a group facilitator, one from each group, that will just kind of take turns facilitating as we go through all the questions. So just choose a group leader, and then choose 3 of the best discussion questions that you've come up with. Okay? So that's your task for now. And then the discussion leader is going to note those discussion questions down.
Not me. No. No, sorry. Sorry. You can play game.
No.
So you guys didn't
Street.
do that.
Yeah, let's go.
No, I didn't come last
Why?
Friday, so I didn't.
Discuss
May soon. May soon. Yeah, it's Arabic. Shows.
But nothing. So can you make questions for
No, that's good.
Wednesday? Because we
So,
need to have
okay, so
questions
did
for
you-
our classmates.
Did you listen to this radio?
No. Okay.
So,
Second question.
depending
This is
on
easy.
perhaps on Wednesday, we
Yeah.
can
But I know.
What's the second
This
one?
video you talk about one
look at their questions and maybe you'll have some
One
options.
people?
But for now, you can just decide it.
Oh, you talk about okay, keep going.
What? Shocked. May soon.
So guys,
The concept is a little bit.
can I just interrupt for just a second?
Yeah.
Wait.
For the discussion questions, Ollie, some people had some trouble just listening to it. So if you don't have discussion questions, who actually listened to the whole thing?
Not whole.
But I can understand. I listened to close.
Yeah.
But you didn't understand,
Yeah,
couldn't
all the
understand?
Yeah.
Okay, did you kind of get the main idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Too long.
So,
I
wanted you to listen
I
to it.
slept.
I wanted you to listen to it in chunks, like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5
Yeah, I
another
did.
5 minutes.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I think I mentioned that on the Canvas description. Just listen to a little bit at a time so you don't get overwhelmed. So anyway, if you kind of have the main idea, the discussion questions are general questions about that topic, okay?
Okay.
Being a female, being a comedian with disabilities, being
Comedian.
Muslim,
Yeah.
okay? So you don't have to know details from the listening to come up with discussion questions. So if you don't have enough right now, just come up with some
Oh,
off
right.
the top of your
But-
head from what you have
Oh,
listened
right.
to.
But discussion question is related with these topics, so we have to make a question related to
The
this.
discussion question can be just kind of general about about her situation.
So we don't need to make a.
Those were for the comprehension questions, so you could really focus.
Okay. But because
That's okay if the discussion questions are related to your topic,
okay, so
but now you guys kind of, if Cam, did you listen to it? So you kind of have an idea of just this topic of her being a successful female comedian with all of these obstacles against her.
disabled
Why did-
society.
My
Yes,
shows.
comprehension.
Specific.
So your discussion questions should be asking about people's opinions and perspectives on situations. Be careful that they're not asking for detailed information about her or this radio interview specifically. They need to be asking opinions and perspectives, because we're gonna be discussing this topic together, not, the comprehension questions is a separate type of question.
Okay, so making a question to ask
Ask opinions
to
or perspectives on certain situations.
Okay.
Okay, so make sure that's what your questions are asking for.
Okay.
Your classmates' opinions, ideas, perspectives on these situations or this topic.
Any idea?
Leo, put your phone away,
I
please.
come up with one.
Okay, this is 1 and this is 2 and here are Ivy. Do you have something?
What's yours?
Mine is, how do you think people see her as a Palestine
what
and
can we
Muslim woman?
learn from her story? Nice.
And you have to say so.
Okay. So.
She has a few against her.
What do we learn from
Faced or faces.
what can you
Still
learn?
facing them
What can you learn?
or not?
Or
Which
can
one?
you
Yeah.
learn
What
from
are you thinking about?
her
It's the same.
the same
Same as us.
yours?
Yes,
Okay.
it's us.
Yeah, because
Um,
they're not, people aren't done
I can try.
putting her,
I got it.
stereotyping her, right?
The last one, she seems that if she grow up in this social media age, she wouldn't be able to do what she did. Why is that?
Okay, she thinks that if she
Her this
grew up in the social media age,
She
the
was
wouldn't.
these
Wouldn't.
things that she has.
So what I'm gonna have you guys do is, because not everybody could get everything or so much, I'm going to put the link of the actual video so people can watch her talking and moving. It might help the comprehension a little bit. So you can just finish up this first page by Wednesday.
Okay, good.
Okay, so don't even worry about this. This is like during and post
Okay, good.
discussion, so.
So we can just finish this.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna reassign it with a new link so you can actually see her. So you have your partner's questions, a fresh sheet of paper to answer them on, separate piece of paper, and your video link. When you're finished, is everybody listening?
Yep.
When you're finished, you can do pronunciation power, and the link to that is through Canvas under Pages, under Resources. And your usernames and passwords are in there also. So once you're done this, just go to pronunciation power until everyone's finished. Okay? So when you finish this, if we're still waiting on other people to finish, then you can do pronunciation power while you're waiting. Okay? Where's Ivy? She having trouble with the copier.
Kind of people in the
Oh, okay. So give one to Song and one to Maja. Thank you. So I want this camera, but it looks like it's this camera, and it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to check. What's the audio source is fine. It's the USB. The camera is supposed to be not the webcam.
She mentioned that.
Yes. So we're just gonna quickly look at elements of a discussion here. This little thing here. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys took a look at this, but this basically is your rubric looks the same. Your rubric is also in Canvas right here, and you're going to be graded on the same elements. Okay? Ivana and Ali. This is the rubric that I'm going to use to grade you on this discussion. So, we're going to go through the elements that are all the same as they are on the rubric, but this is the explanation of what they mean. So active listening means that you are focused on the speaker, okay? And I can leave this up here during our discussion so that you can refer to it. Disagreeing constructively, so not just saying, oh, you're wrong, I disagree with that. You're going to have polite responses, be respectful in how you show that you're disagreeing. Might sound like this. That's an interesting point of view. Have you thought about ... With all due respect, I think, and we have other language similar to that from our unit as well. Okay? So you're in your groups, but let's get in a big circle so we're all facing each other. If you guys could just move your bodies so that everybody
All
can...
of us?
Yeah, we're all just going to get in a circle together. Get in a circle. Giant circle. You don't have to, it's
Just
okay if
go.
there are desks in between, but let's be all facing each other.
We can circle, guys.
Is this yours? Come here.
Okay, so Song and Ricky and Ivy, or Ivy and Song, why don't you guys come here? Okay. So each group is going to kind of take a turn leading, okay, and the discussion leader from that group is going to, can you all move in, like here, make it close, like here, and here, and here. Imagine, come sit here. Put her in here, and someone right here. Okay? Can you guys kind of scoot in a little bit, here, Leo can sit here. Or Ivana. Okay, so which group leader would like to start off the group? You'll just pose a question, we'll discuss it for a little bit, and then,
What if I forgot?
what if you forgot what?
Yeah, we'll see how they will
So,
do.
What do you mean?
so she said something about bullying, the solution, I forgot the solution.
Oh, yes.
For your discussion questions? Well, let's see if other people remember. Do you guys want to start it off? Okay. So, well, maybe you can start off with another question, and that might help us get into thinking about the rest of it.
She thinks that if she go up.
All right, let's move to another group. First question about you guys. What's your question you want to pose to the group?
Okay, so what can what can people with a disability learn from her story in this radio show? Okay, what can people without disability without normal people
With
Normal people.
normal people so
non-disabled.
Not disabled, yeah.
not people without disability learn from her history in this radio
Her
show.
story.
Her story.
Ivy, are you okay? Are you feeling okay?
Yes.
What can non-disabled people learn from her story?
That they can learn that if she's a woman and she is disabled and she tried to create something new and she tried to try to create a position in a society. So when as a person, as a people like us, when we see someone who is disabled and can do that, so I think that encourages us to do something that because we have the ability to do everything we want while we are
abilities to take part in some groups or organizations, and there are some events. So they have a lot of chances to go to some events and something else. So it's a good idea. So then so we can learn from this radio show. So she showed us what's they feel about the real world in this, especially in this world. So
Right.
it's a nice idea.
Let's hear from the people that haven't said anything yet. What do you guys think about Ricky and Rio's question? And if you don't remember, you can ask him to repeat it.
Our question is, what can people with a disability learn from her story?
And Raja said, you know, if she can do it, I can do it. I should think positively about my abilities. Is there anything else you guys think people can learn from her story? Non-disabled people?
I think everyone has his or her defect. Yes. So we everybody has him or her defect. So
So, are you trying to say that we should realize that we all have some defect and not to criticize others for theirs? Or
I think
is that what you're
she
trying to
means
say?
that
Or yeah, you can.
I think we should respect everybody. Yes.
Okay, great.
do not judge on them.
Appearance or
Yeah.
superficial of the physical aspects or
Yes.
mental aspects.
Okay, great. All right, this group, pose your first question. Who's the group leader, Michelle?
I have tons of questions. I don't know which one I
You
take.
had three that you guys made as a group on
Discussion
Monday.
question.
We have
Pick-
6 here.
No, you only had
One.
three.
Three.
You had three from
Discussion.
Monday.
Discussion question. Oh, okay, sorry.
So pick one of those, one of the three.
Okay.
Just ask the first question. You're gonna get a chance to ask all of your questions, so just ask the first one. Read it.
Part one.
Okay. How do you think we can help the disabled to discover their evidence?
Sorry, could you say your
Advance-
question or answer?
Advantages.
Advantages. Yeah.
Okay, repeat it.
So, how do you think we can help the disabled to
To
discover their advantages?
Disadvantage.
Okay, maybe depending on their
Let's make sure we're not all having our own private conversations.
Okay.
Excellent.
Discover
Do you-
their potential.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Discover their potential. How can we help the disabled
Yes.
to discover
To discover
their
their
potential?
potential. What do you think that we have to do for them to make them feel better?
Maybe
To make them
we should meet with people with disabilities, and we talk about how or his conversation is good. It's the best way to discover the potentials of this with people.
You mean show them some empathy?
Yeah.
What if, I'm just gonna interject here. What if we personally don't have the opportunity to interact with a disabled person? Are there other things people can do in general to allow disabled people to discover their potential without actually having a personal interaction with a disabled person? Anybody? Because that may not ever happen. You may not get that chance. But how can we as a society allow disabled people to discover their potential? What do you guys think? Song, Ivana, Leo.
I have an example about that. I remember that she mentioned some of the directors of the movies, and they have an actors like someone who acting as a disabled, while there's people who are disabled and they can act as disabled. So that's what make my son a little bit upset because of that, and she had a message that allowed us to give you what we have, because we can do something normal people cannot do it because we are disabled. We can represent disabled in some kind of
It's a great example.
yeah.
Comments, opinions, responses to what he said, something else, another idea?
I think we should have, make sure that they have equal opportunity and just and treat them equal.
Excellent. Okay. So I'm gonna stop us here.